driving to meet her, I was nervous, but I was excited. Bro, exes are the most dangerous people in the game.
Okay, why?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
My brother had stage 4 cancer. It was serious.
Stage 4, because clearly there's no stage 5. And I was talking to God. If this is how my story ends, then I have to believe and know that that soul's going to be okay. That my family's going to be okay. That they'll be able to deal with it. If I didn't go in a week before that, I would not even be here.
Welcome back to Outside Voices Podcast, episode 5.
Episode 5, guys.
We made it to episode 5, y'all.
I would like to say, I'm so thankful and I feel so blessed just that we've had such a good, jump start. You know what I'm saying? I feel the love that you guys have shown and just how things have went. And I feel like also we got to pat ourselves in the back a little bit just because of, we did strategize a lot before even, that's what took so long to get here.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to bullshit it. You know what I mean? We wanted to give good, consumable content for you guys. And we had one number one goal when we went into this, which was really what?
What? Oh.
Consistency.
Oh, yeah. Consistency. Number one.
That's number one. So we'd like to talk about how we don't have a situation.
I guess? Yeah. Yes. So first I want to say I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown us and shown our guests. But I do want to say that there are some times that we may not have a guest, just like today. Mm-hmm. There are going to be some times where you may not know our guests. There's going to be times where you may not like our guests. And there are going to be times where our guests may cancel on us.
Yeah.
So please bear with us when it comes to our guests. I hope that Landon and I are enough for you guys. It seems like we are. You guys always show us so much love and support. And if you haven't yet already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure you don't miss any more episodes.
Yes. So let's go right into how episode, was it 3 with our mom?
Episode 3 with mom.
Excuse me. Episode 3, we did have we announced a giveaway. And today we're announcing the giveaway winners.
Yes. Just like we promised you guys, we have 5 giveaway winners that Landon will be reading off.
I have them
a few of them are from Instagram and a few of them are from YouTube.
So we chose 5. We have 3 from Instagram, 2 from YouTube. I'm going to list you guys right now. It's no particular order. And also, make sure that you guys DM the Outside Voices Pod Instagram so that we can arrange this setup, address, all that, get you guys your hat because Christmas is here. Okay? So, number 1, again, if I butcher any name, I am so sorry. Number 1 is Haley Shannon. H-A-Y, this is Instagram. Hayley Shannon _.
Shout out to Haley. We love you.
Shout out to Haley. Number 2 is also from Instagram, Lyro Love, which is Liroluv.
Rilo, we love you.
Yes, that's number 2. Number 3 is Jasmine, spelled Jasmine, _Lashya. I'm guessing she does lashes.
Jasmine, we love you.
Or maybe it's not. _Lashya, YA _13.
Okay.
Now, the last 2 are from YouTube. This one is number 4. The winner is Mary Jane Morales.
Mary, we love you.
Her @ is MJ Loves You. Okay. Mary Jane, congrats. Number 5 is Candy Lease. Candy is Candi and then space lease, like leasing an apartment. LEASE. @ is CandyLease938.
Candy, we love you.
So,
thank you to everyone who has been supporting us. We'll be doing more giveaways very soon. All you got to do is keep supporting us, leave positive comments, and show love. Simple.
We very highly appreciate it. So, I wanted to get into something right away. Okay. I have a couple topics, some controversial talking points. Okay. We're talking about relationships here. And before we even get into that, something that's been on my mind is it's been a year of you being single.
Why you gotta bring up me?
I'm just saying, since we're talking about relationships,
okay,
that it's been a year of you being single.
Yeah, it's been 1 full year. Damn.
And I'm starting to get concerned.
Why? It's only been a year. It ain't like it's been 5 years.
It's just that people your age, when they get up there, the cattle runs dry. Your options,
no, it
your
does
options.
Not.
That's what happens. People your age, they get on the apps, they get on the Facebook Marketplace, Some I've heard it goes crazy on Craigslist. That's what I've heard. So
The crazy thing is, like, you keep saying I'm older, but I feel like I'm in my prime. Like, these are my best years right now. I feel really, really great, confident, and this is my first time, y'all, me living alone, like completely alone. I'm not living with mom and dad. I'm not in college living with a roommate. I'm not living with a significant other. And this is my first time living alone. Obviously, I have my kids here, but it's just me. It's just me in this big-ass house by myself.
Just doing the solo thing.
And I talked about this on my Snapchat. I feel like it's such a tricky time for me because I'm really focused on myself, as I keep saying. Really growing in so many areas. Focused on my health, right? Fitness, been in the gym nonstop.
Cap.
You don't know shit.
Number
2 would be, obviously, number 1 is my kids. 2nd is my health. 3rd is work and business. As I'm focused on all these things, growing in all these areas, I still would like to have someone who supports me, right? As much as I'm not looking for love, because I feel like you just can't search for love. You can't go on a scavenger hunt and be like, I need love.
You need love to come to you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like as I'm focused on myself, I know love will find me. And I feel like the best things happen when you least expect them. And so that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm speaking out in the universe. God, please provide me with that.
Okay.
But it's tricky because I would like to create content with the opposite gender. Like, I would love to be able to incorporate other people in my content, other characters, but I just feel like I would get judged for it. Too crazy, right? Because I'm coming from being this family man, and people aren't used to seeing me create content with the opposite sex. But I would like to do it. I feel like I'm able to now with the circumstances. Like, do you feel like I'm able to?
No, for sure. The circumstances are aligned for you to be able
Do you
to
guys
do that.
accept me creating content with friends? Because, guys, I do have friends. And just because I create content with, a woman doesn't mean, I'm hooking up with them or I'm in a relationship with them. I just feel like it would be good for the content. You know what I mean? And it'd be good for just myself being around, different types of people, meeting people, traveling. I just feel like it'd be dope. You think I'm able to do it?
I think you should be able to do it.
Right?
I think that you can't be afraid of the judgment because it's going to happen regardless, just because, again, this is going to come with the territory.
I know, but I also, you remember, when I talk about judgment, I'm not necessarily talking about myself. I'm also talking about someone that I bring into my life.
Them
right?
being judged.
Them being judged, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that I date, anybody that I create content with, they're naturally going to get people's opinions that they may not like.
And they're like, what the heck? I'm just friends with this guy.
Exactly.
Why am I over here getting compared? and doing
Exactly.
weird
For
stuff?
me, as you know, I never cared what anybody said about me online, but it does suck when you bring somebody else into your life
And they get affected.
by it. And I don't want that for anybody. And
Right.
so I do hope moving forward that you guys support me in every area in my life when it does involve a woman.
Amen. Okay,
So
so
that's how I feel.
So do you want to?
That's where I'm at in my life right now.
I support you.
Support me?
I support you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So do you want to get? Well, first off, have you even used an? I know for a fact you've had to hop on an app before.
What, a dating app?
Yes.
For funsies.
What the fuck does that mean?
For funsies.
For funsies.
One time.
What does funsies mean?
I had one experience, and it probably was one of the most uncomfortable experiences in my life.
Okay.
Okay, so you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, no, you don't say it and just be like, oh, anyways.
All right. Well, I'm only going to talk about this because dating apps are regular nowadays, right? I got a lot of friends on dating apps. Mom has been on a dating app. Ray is the person that somewhat convinced me to hop on.
Yeah, he used to have like 4 phones for different apps.
Ray and Big Z. Big Z Big Z was on dating apps, boy. He's the one that introduced me to even how to sign up and shit.
Okay.
Because back in my character, remember we made one for me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was on Hinge. We made a funny one, we made a real one, but obviously it was for content. And so from that, Ray was like, why not actually like try to use it?
But not as the character as Austin.
Not as the character as myself.
Okay.
So I attempted it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, it was like, I don't know, it was weird. I felt like I was like on like a website shopping. Like it was just weird because it's like all these people and you're just swiping through all these people. And it's like, why am I like...
Was there bad ones?
Like what you mean? Like
no,
good looking women?
Yeah, was there bad ones?
I mean, nothing crazy. Like there were some pretty women. You know what I mean? But it just felt weird because I'm like, why am I on here searching? Like I don't want to search. I don't search. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just felt weird. But I continued doing it. Ray's, was persuading me. So I ended up matching with somebody. That's what's called matching or connecting, whatever the terminology is.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up matching with somebody. And initial conversation was great, right? Lately for me, whenever I have initial conversation, the first thing I look for is to see if they're a fan of me or not. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between knowing me and being a fan, right? And that gets a little uncomfortable for me. And so whenever I do connect with somebody or conversate with somebody, that's like the first thing that I look for to see if they know me or if they're a fan, because they instantly ask me something that they should not know about me that I didn't tell them. I'm like, I can't do it. It's just too weird that they know my life already without me having to share that with them.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. So when we had initial conversation, it didn't at all. I did not think that she knew who I was, right? Which was like a breath of fresh air, right? I was sharing things. She was asking me questions. And I was like, this is great conversation. Good personality, great morals. Like everything seemed to like line up. And I was like, okay. And for me, looks-wise, wasn't like a big thing because she was pretty. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, she needs to be, the prettiest woman in the world. It was more of just like other things for me to get my feet wet, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
What do you
like
mean?
I'm saying, like for me to connect with somebody, there were other things that I was looking for initially besides looks.
Okay.
And she had those.
Okay.
Right. So we talked for, I don't know, I feel like a few weeks before we end up meeting up. Yeah, we really met up. So
I know, I'm like,
and I was nervous to meet up because I've been out the game for so long, and I was nervous to meet up because I was hoping that she was gonna be the same person that I was talking to, because we've seen so many movies.
Catfish.
They got shows about it. Catfish is a real thing. So your boy was nervous.
Okay.
So driving to meet her, I was nervous, but I was excited because I was like, okay, get my feet wet. I'm in the dating world. It's different for me. Pull up. As soon as I pull up, open the door. She had 12 of her family members waiting with cameras asking, Austin, let me get a picture. I said, no. And I couldn't. It wasn't like I was going to jump in the car and just dip off. I didn't want to be rude or mean. Like, I just got to know her. She seemed like a good person. Her family was excited to see me. I was just like, how come you couldn't warn me?
That's insane.
So I walked over to him, took a picture with all of them individually, and then we took a family photo.
Wow. So
It was her entire family.
12
people, and me in the middle, like.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopped back in the car. I made an excuse and said, hey, my kid's got to be picked up right now. I got to go. Hopped in the car, and I haven't talked to her since.
So did that scar you a little bit? It definitely
It
made
just
you
was
not want to be on apps.
Yeah, it was just uncomfortable because I was just like, damn, like you could at least warn me. Like, and there was no signs. Like she played it off so well that she didn't know who I was.
So she finessed you.
Definitely finessed me. And I feel like that could have happened at a later time. Like it could have just been us, And then she could have somewhat finessed me later on, but then I would have been more mad. So, like, maybe that was a good situation.
Yeah,
maybe I snipped it, like, right when it happened.
I mean, it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
You never told me that.
I know, because it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's an experience that I had, and now dating apps just ain't it. Meeting people online is just a tough thing, I feel like, nowadays. But I feel like it's the easiest thing because
It's convenient.
I don't go out like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, how am I going to meet somebody new? It's just... The dating world is
that's
just
why
fucked. Dating world's fucked.
That's why people hop on apps in general, though. I feel like because life, and they're like, I don't have time to be out trying to meet people. I want someone. Boom, hit the apps.
You know I'm not meant to be single, bro. Like, I'm a relationship type of guy.
I hear you. You want your feet.
I
bro.
love having that support system, and it's just difficult. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
So let's get straight into some topics since we're on the relationship topics.
Yeah.
Okay? Three controversial topics that we're going to have to debate a little bit or team up on. Okay.
All right.
So number one.
By the way, you've been asking some great... I want to give you props because you've been asking some great-ass questions on these podcasts.
I think I'm a natural.
And the people have been noticing. They love your questions. They love that you're the people's voice.
Thank you.
So I just want to put that out there, my brother.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a great job.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a natural.
So go ahead, share these questions.
Keep it going. So, topic number one is, and people love these type of these debates. Number one is, should a relationship be 50-50?
Should a relationship
And before
be 50-50?
you answer, because I know you're going to do some weird-ass answer, try to freaking sound some type of way.
No, I'm not. I'm coming
When people
straight
talk
to it.
about the 50-50, clearly they're talking about, like, finances.
Okay, only finances.
Only finances.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you can talk about other things, but for us, let's just
Yeah.
talk about just finances. For 50-50.
Okay.
Do you think a relationship should be 50-50 finances?
And is this my opinion or is this like in general?
This is your opinion.
No.
Okay, so elaborate.
I'm providing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a great provider,
Mm-hmm.
right? My future relationship, my future partner doesn't have to worry about a damn thing. Like, anything she wants, she can have.
Sounds familiar.
But she just has to be worthy of it. Meaning, if I'm providing everything, she has to provide the little things for me that add up to the other 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Those little things could be cleaning up around the house. Those little things could be every now and then cooking something up. She don't have to cook every day or have to be a great cook, but if she can surprise me with a meal here and there, would love that.
Mm-hmm.
If she can randomly surprise me, bringing me home things like my favorite smoothie, my favorite candy, right? If she can be there for me, supporting me every step of the way with whatever I have going on.
Okay.
If she could show me love and affection, right? All those little things to me add up to the other 50%, and I feel like it's a perfect match.
So 50-50 finances, you would say it should not be. You think a man should be able to
100%. Well, at least for me.
Okay.
Like, my future girl, all I got to say is you taking care of, baby.
It sounds real familiar. It sounds like you're talking about the relationship that I have. My relationship.
That is, huh?
I have, in my opinion, I have the perfect, ideal dynamic, and I feel like a lot of men
I'm jealous. You so lucky, bro.
aspire to
You so
have
lucky, bro.
a relationship like mine, a dynamic like mine. A lot of men in my DMs that DM me about that, they always talk about.
Whoa, you said a lot of men are in your DMs?
There's a lot of men in my DMs that reach out to me for manly things.
Like what? Explain.
Like about how to even get in a position like mine with my woman.
Really?
Yes. I'm close to starting a little group of just men if I could just help them out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
dope.
I'll tell you what, the answer to the question, I believe no. I think that it's very manly to basically allow your person to not worry about anything. And I feel like it's a big thing when people say like putting your woman in her feminine era, right? Because a good example is like our mom. Our mom is the greatest example. I've never met personally in my life. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
Very people have met people like my mom, and she literally is the definition of like a boss woman.
Independent, strong boss.
All of the things. And even herself says that like I didn't want to be this way. And I didn't see myself being this way. I had to be this way.
Ooh,
I think a woman naturally wants to be in her feminine era. I think that a woman going and hunting and gathering for her own things is very masculine, and there's no woman who wants to do that.
Yeah.
Now, the side thing is like, if your girl randomly said, "Hey, Austin, you know, like even though she's basically like a housewife, right? She does everything in the house. She chills, takes care of the kids, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I want to start a lashing business. I really think that it's something that could help our family. I'm good at it. I got connections, blah blah blah.
But baby, you don't need to. Like,
But
you're taken care of. Like, is it a passion of yours?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, well then.
I like it.
Okay, what do you need from me?
Nigga, I need funds.
I'll support. You need funds?
Nigga, I need funds.
Okay, I got you.
So my point is
But
that
is it going to take, is your time going to be taken away from me?
maybe
Maybe.
it's in the betterment of our family.
It's the what?
It's in the embetterment of our family.
No, because you don't need to do that. You're good over here. Okay? But if you're doing it as a side thing, as your passion and you need some time away, go ahead and do it. But if it's going to take away time from me.
Because I'm providing too much for that, you're saying.
Yeah.
So my point is being that is acceptable. I feel like if your woman is working in that way, but if your woman's working a job that she hates every day to pay her half of the rent or to pay this portion of what she has to pay, every man, again, the reality of the world is it's so hard, and how many relationships are truly like that where the man's fully taking care of everything.
Yeah.
But every man I know that is manly and alpha is aspiring to be in that position for their wife or for their kids or for their family.
Right.
So I'm going to say, obviously, I agree that I don't think it should be 50-50. With my relationship, I truly believe I manifested my relationship because my dynamic is exactly word for word, bar for bar, what you explained.
Really? Explain.
I don't worry about anything besides providing as much as I possibly can. Sophia allows me to be in a space where, babe, I'll take care of all these other things. My life would fall apart without Sophia. That's just a fact.
That's cute.
So she's really more than 50, but every woman would love to not worry about ever paying a bill. And also, it's not that she's not only paying a bill. You be seeing what she be having, what she be wearing, what she be driving. She also lives a life that is...
It's nice. It's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But she deserves that because, one, she's a great mom. That's over anything else. She's always been that type of person, even when she met Celine. When I decided for her to meet Soul,
right,
she was a great person to be around Celine.
Yeah.
She takes care of everything in the house. She takes care. I don't know how, bro. I have so many bills. My bills a month are $50,000+ every single month.
Have you ever made your bed?
No.
Have you ever did your own laundry?
No.
Have you ever cooked your own meal?
Never. I don't know how to cook. I barely know how to make a PB&J, I swear.
Have you got groceries?
No. But guess what, though? The crazy part is that Sophia hasn't either. A lot of men are like, your woman cleans all day. She cooks all day. She does all that.
Yeah.
You need to rub her feet. My girl don't do none of them shits.
Yeah.
She don't have to clean anything. We that's taken care of. She don't have to cook a meal. That's taken care of. But what she does do is very, very valuable because she takes care of me mentally.
Yeah.
And she takes care of our family mentally.
But hold up, though, because, even though we have people that help clean and help cook and stuff, she still, will clean up around the house and do different things like that.
Of course.
Right? And that's what I mean when I talk about that, too, is yes, we have people helping, but when they can do the little things that, clean up, just little things around the house and do this and that, it's damn, you're still, even though we have help, you're still willing to do that? That's huge.
Sophia doesn't sit down. Everyone knows that. My mom always gives her shit about it, how she doesn't know how to sit down. But she always does those things. She's always cleaning up, especially after Saya. She's constantly doing stuff, the dishes, the laundry, everything for Saya all the time. So my point being is that I always want a relationship where I don't have to worry about nothing else. Yeah. I want to fully take care of my person. I think that my woman deserves to be fully taken care of and not to do those things. But obviously, she's providing so much to my relationship. She doesn't stress me about literally anything.
She really does deserve that shit. And that's why I said, if that's going to happen,
excuse me,
you do have to find somebody that deserves that shit. Because I've not yet have done that, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I just hope I find someone that's deserving of it.
Oh, it's the greatest feeling. I mean, on top of that, obviously, besides providing in that you don't have to freaking worry about a bill ever, you're also providing love, you're also providing affection, you're also providing protection, which is huge for a man, obviously. Yeah. You're providing all those things on top of that. But that just goes that back to the answer is I believe no. And you believe so too.
And it's crazy because I just came out of a relationship where her and I were 50-50 partners across the board. Because we you know, we grown in every area of our lives together, like as real partners, bro. And I feel like that's why we were so strong from the beginning, is because we went through everything you can possibly think of, bro, together. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, I was doing my own thing, she was doing her own thing. Like, no, bro, like everything we experienced was together. And she made just as much money as I made. And I feel like that's also a reason why her and I are in such a good place, because we're both comfortable in that area. You know what I mean? Like, we've both created.
You both can be providers. Yeah,
we both created something so special for each other that she's great on her own. Yeah. I'm great on my own. Yeah. And that's very rare, bro. That's so rare.
Oh, it is.
But moving forward, I think that I'm not sure if I want someone who's known on the internet as my significant other. I'm not sure if I want that. What I'm thinking is what's best for me is someone that's low key, nobody knows, and my relationship will also be low key and no one will know. And I think that's the best thing to do, is to keep it, you know, as private as I can. I know there'll be times where I do want to share things, film things, different experiences, but for the most part, for as long as I can, I want to try to keep it private.
I can give you some insight to that, because that was a big struggle for Sophia and I when we first hopped on to social media together. Yeah. Because now she is a part of my everyday. And this is why it's gonna be hard for you too. I'm gonna give you the sauce right now. We all know, everyone in the social media space or any type of space that's like that, where you have a lot of eyes on you, everyone knows that it could make or break your relationship. Yeah. Everybody knows. The problems don't even come until everybody's in your business. So many people talk about it. It is what it is. And on top of that, in a situation like yours, which was a situation like mine in the past, is that when you guys are working together and doing everything, it's unbelievably stressful. Yeah. And it's just like not a place for a relationship to truly thrive. It's just not.
And you know what's crazy to say that though? I feel like even though it is difficult, I feel like the internet didn't break us though. Like her and I went through so many things. I feel like it wasn't the internet that got us to this point at all. Like, that's one thing that I give props to her and I, is we were never bothered by the internet. And I feel like that's very, very hard to do. Like, bro, we've been on the internet for damn near 10 years and we've been through the moon and back. Well, at least I've been through the moon and back in my relationship, and it didn't phase us. Like, we've never really had arguments about the internet.
But again, you have the internet, but you also have work, and you also have being together 24/7. Right. Those are crucial things that people have to deal with.
Those other things definitely were a challenge.
But those all, again, come with social media, which is your job.
Right. I agree.
You wouldn't have to be together every day if you didn't do social media.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? That shit, bro, it's no one understands. I wish more relationships talked about it, how it's very stressful.
Oh, it's definitely I never said it wasn't difficult. Even though the internet part didn't affect us, that whole aspect still was very difficult. Right. And I feel like her and I had such tough skin that there was nothing that was going to break that. You know what I mean? Like, nothing was going to break whatever anybody said was going to break that.
So back to the sauce, is that was a big thing when I was like, man, I value her so much that I don't know if I want to do that. And on top of that, Sophia was super anti-social media. She's like, fuck me.
I remember.
She didn't care about it. She hated social media. She almost didn't fuck with me because I had a following. She was like, I don't like that.
Well, she came from like that business, like
she's a real estate agent,
right?
She had her own money. She's
super business.
She's not a social media person at all. She never aspired to be on social media. She's never she's like 60 years old when I met her, basically, when it came to social media, right?
Yeah. So how was that transition then?
Well, I'll tell you why. Where it came to.
And how'd you even get to the point where like now you're filming with her?
I'll tell you, because it comes to a point where like, look, I want to keep this off social media as long as possible, but this is my life, and I film my life every single day, and it gets to a point where you almost feel weird not showing off your person.
I see that.
That's just how. I'm like, bro, like, I love you. I'm so happy. People are online see me happy every day. They don't even know why I'm happy. I can't even talk about it.
I see that.
It almost feels like I'm not even doing her justice by not boasting about it. You get what I'm saying? And that's when it comes to a place where like I have to just figure out how to integrate it. And it was a process. It did take a while for Sophie to even get used to it or to really want it.
What was that first experience like? Do you remember?
She hated it.
What was it like though? Like, can you explain what it was? Like, where were you guys? What did you guys do?
I think I just like, well, I used to put her on my Snapchat without her face.
Okay.
So people just didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
They were just like, okay, it's this girl, blah blah. And then finally we did like the face reveal, and that's like after she became an actual girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
So after the face reveal, it was cool, but I also like didn't allow her to read comments. Because and it's not like they were bad. Yeah. It's just like it's a loophole. And for someone who's not used to that,
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
It's
scary.
It's
okay.
I can relate to that so much because like no matter what, like it's always gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be
no matter what.
If you're not used to it, it's like obviously commenting is like it's like fairy dust now. But clearly when someone's never been around that, seeing thousands of people have opinions on you, again, good, bad, middle, whatever. Yeah. I remember by the third day, she was just like, I just want to see, like, I promise, like, I won't. And I let her. Yeah. She was like, I swear to God, I'm never filming again.
What did you film, though, for people to comment? What was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember that exact day. I think that exact day.
Did you do Q&A or something?
I think it was like, we were talking about something, or maybe it was some. No, I know what it was. So, and it was stupid that we even did that. But she was getting her lips dissolved.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
And they got all swollen.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was the one who was like, this would be like actually cool and it's funny and it's like people can relate to it because, I'm getting them dissolved. Yeah. Like I don't like them. I want them out. I want to be natural with whatever the case was. And I allowed her to read the comments. And she literally was like, I'm never filming ever again. I'll never be on camera again. And for now, 7 days after that, we didn't film. And I'm like, fuck. It's not worried about the content. I'm worried about like she's gonna feel so anti now.
Yeah.
But then obviously we my community on Snapchat is so welcoming though, and so I'm so blessed to have the community that I built that they really did welcome her with open arms, and that's why for you it's like you're gonna have that same experience when that time comes because. Clearly, it's almost like since the people who truly supported me, whatever I decided to do, they were going to be along for the ride.
100%.
And them seeing me actually be with someone like Sophia and change, they saw how what my content was before. You know what my content was before.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that out of respect. But my content before was very wild.
Yeah.
Once they saw where I transitioned and what my content was about and who I was, they truly loved it and supported it because they saw a different version of me.
And I feel like she got to see you every day going through that process that I feel like that made her more comfortable. You know what I mean? Like whatever you filmed, like you were not fazed by it and you made her more comfortable of like, getting used to everything.
Oh yeah. We would talk about it all the time. So anyways, we go to our track. Yeah. So now let's go. We're only on topic 2. Topic number 2 is, can someone in a new relationship be friends with their ex? Guys at home, start debating with your friends or family right now.
Yeah, I'm friends with my ex. What do you mean?
It can't be with children because clearly you're gonna be friends. You have your family forever at that point. You're tied forever. True. Like when you and Catherine were together, before everything. Yeah. In the past, did you allow her to be friends with?
Fuck no. No. Hell no.
Okay.
So no. Answer is no.
I agree.
Bro, exes are the most dangerous people in the game.
Oof, scary.
Let me say that again. Exes are the most dangerous people in the game.
Okay, why?
Let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
No matter what happens, right? Mm-hmm. Your ex that you experience, right? It could be a year, it could be 10 years. There's so much past history. There's so many experiences. There's so much feelings. That shit does not just fade away like that. So if your girl, right, whoever it is, whether it's someone fresh or just getting a relationship, no matter what, that ex will still always be around some way, somehow. Mm-hmm. And if something happens in the relationship, she's unhappy, you get a little argument, sex is weak. Guess who she's going to call first? It ain't going to be somebody new. It's going to be her ex.
Hey, I'm here with you. I believe
What do you think?
No, I agree. I feel like The OGs used to tell me growing up. They used to tell me, and there's some of the realest shit I ever heard because I experienced it growing up, is that you should never date a woman who was fresh out of a relationship that was a serious relationship, like long-term, serious, they were in love relationship. Never date when they're fresh out of that, especially if they were the ones that got broken up with. Because since they weren't, because if they closed it off, clearly they're done.
100%.
You can have more faith in that they're really done.
Yeah.
If they lost it, that person is so dangerous because they can text her at any moment and strike a nerve like that because they lost control of that. You know what I'm saying? And I've experienced that with way in the past. If you were dating someone or talking to someone for a minute, all of a sudden like, where they disappeared on me. Check Instagram a month later, they're with their ex. Oh, lost them to the ex.
Yeah, exes always have the upper hand, like always, no matter what.
Well, like I said, it's too much connection. It's too much. And the most strongest thing in the universe is someone has trauma together. If they have something they went through together.
Oh, what's it called? Like, it's like trauma bonding.
Trauma bond.
It's like a real thing.
If they have that, you're cooked. you're cooked if they got that.
Oh shit!
Because that's very scary.
Yeah, because there's so many situations where girls have a hard time escaping their ex. Like they can't even have a new relationship because they just keep going back to it. They can't escape it. You know what I mean?
And also, I think it's key to talk about a lot of people use the word friend loosely, like you saying, say a girl says, I'm friends with my ex. My first question is, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I have a lot of friends that are guys, but it's like a friend or an acquaintance. Because acquaintance is like, you see him, oh, what's up? Haven't seen him in a minute, boom, boom. If you're texting a guy every day, that's, a friend is you check in with them every day. That's a real friend. So are you a friend with an ex or are you an acquaintance? I'm cool with my ex. Oh, I'm cool. That sounds way different. Oh, I'm cool with my ex. Now, if you say me and my ex are friends, that sounds a little different to me.
Yeah, like that.
If you're cool with my ex, that's like, okay, there's no beef, there's no problem. You know what I'm saying? That's chill. Friends is different. And how many men in general can be that close to someone talking without feeling, you know how men are.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think that's
some type of way about them.
That's what it is. I think it's possible for women to truly have
male friends.
I really do. In their mind.
I agree.
But in a male's mind, it is completely different, ladies. They are waiting for that moment. For when you're ready, they're ready.
I feel like people are gonna be commenting so crazy right now because every time I hear someone say it on social media, because so many men say exactly what we just said, and so many women are like, hell no, that's cap. You're insecure. But it's like men are saying it because they know.
No, what? Are you serious?
No,
this is like a real thing.
Come on. I'm on it. I'm with you.
I can put my house on it that whoever I end up with, right? If my future girlfriend has any guy friend, it can be a guy friend from high school, it can be a guy friend from damn yoga class. If she were to hit him up and say, hey, I want to go to dinner with you and go see a movie, you think he's going to say no?
He might say no to that, but if she says, hey, yo, I know this sounds kind of weird, but Austin's his pipe game is so weak. And I don't know what he's been on lately. I don't know if it's his age. I don't know. But honestly, I just want some casual, stress-free sex. I know it's weird me asking you, but you please come over here and beat my shit. You think that guy is going to be like, Brenda, we're friends. Click. You got me fucked up if you think he's saying that.
No.
The only time I can fathom it truly being friendship is you grew up with them literally from when you were before puberty. You have a brother, right? You have a brother. A girl had a brother, and his best friend was your almost brother since you guys were 5.
Yeah.
I can fathom that. Now, there's no women that are plus 18 who are meeting a man in that life who is after that age who is genuinely becoming a friend. Because women have all of the power. Yeah. Women put men in the position that they are. So if a man is your friend, it's because woman
put him there.
You put them there.
Yeah.
Because if you said when a guy is meeting you out in public, you're looking good, right? I'm imagining every single woman here. You're looking good. You got your bust down. You're doing everything right. He's not looking at you and being like, you know what? she looks like she would really like give me some good advice when I need it.
It looks like she'd be a good friend.
He's like, whoa, she's looking. Let me see what she's on.
Oh my
God,
gosh.
I might have to try to.
She may have a boyfriend, but when it's over, I'm right here for you.
Well, I'm saying when you give him that energy, if you're not really fucking with it, then he settles.
That's
for
what I'm
the
saying.
friend,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
he
saying.
stays in that friend
Yeah.
bubble out of respect for
Right.
you.
But just know he's always game planning. Like he's
He's
always
strategizing.
strategizing in his head of how he can be with you.
If you allow him to get in there, he's gonna get in there, and that's why like men know that. I feel like that's why majority of men don't allow their woman to have like a close friend like that they don't really know like that, or later in life. No, it's just not. It's not ideal. So the answer is no.
Answer is no.
Okay, so
Fuck no.
fuck no. Topic number 3. Do you believe in love at first sight?
100%.
What?
100%. Let me correct myself.
No, the question is, do you believe in love at first sight?
Let me correct my wording. Lust turns into love.
Nope, that's not an answer.
It is an answer.
So your answer is no.
I believe that you can be in lust with someone instantly, right? But falling in love with somebody instantly, no.
So love at first sight, you say no.
I say there's a process, right? First it's lust, then it's love. Because there's sometimes where people experience lust when they think it's love. Have you experienced that? Where you thought you were in love, but you were really in lust?
No.
No. So
I
you
always knew when it was that.
So you've just been in love.
No, I've either like I knew exactly if it was just lust, I knew it was that.
Really? Oh, I'll be clouded. I'll be clouded, bro. It happens to me.
Well, hey, that meow will do that to you.
Listen,
it'll do it to you.
It happened a few times, and I will say that the last time it happened, it felt more than lust. It felt like it was love, right? And when I felt it, it's like no explaining. It's just that feeling you get that you know it's just different. It hits different, feels different. Everything is just like, I'm in love. I love you. What do you think? How you feel about it?
I don't know. I think that she must have just had that gas, and the gas had you. It's like a drug. It is.
It
and
really
you
is.
must have just been. You weren't thinking correctly. You know
There's
what I'm saying?
times where like I get in my life in all areas, like I get obsessed with things, right? Anything that I want, I get obsessed with it, and I just have to have it, right? And I feel like that somewhat can like leave me a little clouded.
In order to get to like for me, in order to get to me, you gotta stimulate my mind, babe. You gotta like I have to see a different side of you that's other than just what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? And with Sophia, that shit was crazy.
She had you going crazy.
I mean, in the beginning, I'm like, whoa. But
Bruh, you were in love in the beginning, though.
it wasn't like I was in love. It just was always different. Like Sophia played a certain role in my life that was just different. She's the first girl I met since I was single that was not from social media. That was very crucial for me. And she didn't fuck with me really in the beginning. I literally had to. Like,
And that's why your ass was in love.
I had to game her up because
that's what I'm saying.
I had to get to her because she really wasn't fucking with the fact that like she wasn't fucking with what I even do. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't want to be a part of that.
She had you really work your ass off.
So I had to really work to get it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get the that early. And that was another thing. That's very crucial. That's a very powerful tool that I hope that every woman.
She didn't
watching,
let you?
Not for a while.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had to work at it. And I feel like that's such a good, powerful tool because women, you gotta know how powerful that is. And I feel like if you really make a man wait for a good duration of time, you'll really be able to see what he truly is on.
Okay, speaking of waiting, how long do you feel like a woman should wait until it's time?
See, I think at least it depends on how much you're seeing them. That matters too. If it's long distance,
Yeah, 100%.
like I that's the one thing I could say I can give a little bit of leeway to if a woman sleeps with a man on the first time they actually meet.
Yeah.
If they were chopping it down for months,
Yeah.
and then they finally meet, it's like how do you not? You
I
get
agree.
me?
I agree.
But let's just say like you guys are both in LA
Yeah.
and you're seeing each other twice a week,
Yep. A few times a week.
2-3 times a week. I would say at least a month, at least a full, like, that's what, that's basically 8 times, 2, 4, 6,
Yeah.
8 times of seeing each other.
Yeah, I say 5 times.
5.
If you hang out, spend time together 5 times, I think that's enough for a man to wait.
But again, it also depends on how long you are together, what the conversation's on.
Yeah, obviously.
like how the vibes are, everything.
Okay, let me break it down to what I've experienced.
Okay.
Is for me, whenever I connect with somebody, conversate with somebody, that process is a little bit of process first, right? Meaning, like, I can talk before I hang out with somebody, I can talk to them for like a few weeks, right? Mm-hmm. So there goes a few weeks go by of us just texting, talking on the phone, right? And I'm a on the phone type of guy. Like, I'll call you every day. I don't have to text you, right? But I just want to hear your voice. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know how your day's going. What?
Are you a fall asleep on the phone type of guy?
And I am a fall asleep on the phone type of guy.
That's so gas. I love
so if we're conversating for a month before linking or a couple weeks before linking up, that's time right there, right? Then we link up, and we hang out 5 times, and those 5 times are actual, like, real dates, real spending time together. Then I feel like after the 5th time, it's, it's okay for a woman to be like, bet you deserve it.
You can have some.
Yeah.
Because the tricky part about it is that, like, which is true, and I admit it for a lot of men out there, is that, like, when you give it away too early, it could ruin it.
I'm telling you, bro.
It could ruin it.
I don't like that at all.
Because once you let him have it, it's so sick. Men are so sick. Men are so deranged. They will do everything in the world just to beat. And once they beat, they're out of there. And that's what's so crazy. And that's why waiting women is the only thing that you have to do it.
You have to do it. Ladies, you have to do it.
And on top of that, psychologically, like, in a man's nature, it is a part of him that we're like the conquering aspect.
Yeah.
Trying to get it aspect.
Yeah.
And once that's not a thing anymore, he might not be feeling it no more. Because he already had it and he's like, whatever. But again, if he does leave, then you saved yourself.
But what I have heard for ladies out there, on their behalf, speaking for them, I've heard situations where a woman wants the man to feel good about the situation, meaning, like, they don't want him to be upset. They want him to be happy about it. Like, they don't want a dude to be mad and be like, oh my gosh, like, how come she's not letting me get to this point? Does that make sense? Like, it's hard when a woman really likes a guy. They want them to be happy about the situation, right? And so if a lot of times when women do attempt to make a guy wait, some dudes be like, oh man, she's playing too hard to get. I'm never going to talk to her again because I can't hit.
But see,
you know what I'm saying?
But if we had a sister and that guy was saying that,
yeah, we say he not the one.
You would tell him, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, never come back, motherfucker. Beat your ass. Trying to use my damn sister. I know what you want, nigga.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that shit.
So
that's the struggle.
That's what I'm saying but from their side, do you see that point of view from them?
I see it, but I tell women, like, fuck that.
Because at the end, you're going to see his true colors anyways. If you make him wait and he's really waiting and you could tell he's genuine about his feelings for you, he's going to wait.
And you know that if a woman that you really fucked with or really, really like, it don't matter how long it goes, it's just going to make you fuck with him even more.
Oh, my gosh.
It's going to make you want it even more because it's like, oh, my God, I need it.
Oh, my gosh. And guess what? It's going to be quick. Going to be a quick one.
When
the time comes, it's going to be a quick one, so don't judge him.
All that anticipation
ladies,
up to it, it's going to be a 3-stroke and I'm out.
Do not judge a man first time you have SCX with them, because if you made him wait, I can almost guarantee you that first time going to be a quick one. Going to be a quick one.
You can't be mad at him. He's going to say what you say. Shit was too gas.
Yeah.
He's going to say that shit was too gas.
Oh, shit.
Was too, you know what? Wait. So, again, for the love at first sight,
yeah,
you say no.
I say no.
And I say no, too. I feel like it's impossible for
I felt like I was, but I don't think I was.
You want to know something I struggle with that's a concept of love?
Yeah.
That really is like it's not really a struggle for me because of where I'm at now in life and, me and Sophia in a relationship and our plans and goals for the future for us. But before Sophia, I always hated how at one point in time, everybody can relate to this. That's older. If you're a kid, you'll figure this out later. Everybody has had someone in their life that they felt that they would never be with anyone else besides that person. Maybe 3-4 times you had someone you're like, I'm gonna marry this person, and then when you think about them today, you're like, I don't even forgot all about them.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many times could you do that?
I know.
Do you get what I'm saying? I hate that. I can't stand that idea.
They say, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but they say that there's 3 people you fall in love with
in your whole life.
Okay. You guys have to correct me on this because I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But the first one is like your first love, like that high school love, right?
Okay.
The second one is one that you experience everything with. You go through, trials and tribulations, all this stuff. And the last one is like the true love. That true person it's usually like that third type of love. So for me, I'm like thinking like, okay, I did have like a high school little sweetheart, middle school sweetheart type thing. And then did I have one before Catherine? Not really. Experienced my ex, right? But that was everything to me. That was my whole life.
Okay.
And then now I'm like, what now? Like, what's gonna happen to me now? I don't know where I'm at.
You think that third one could be the last one for you?
I mean, it has to be the last one. Anybody that I connect with moving forward, if I get serious with them, they have to be the last one for me. I can't go through another 10-year relationship and be back at square one, sitting here talking to you about it.
I told the biggest thing on my mind is I said once I started really dating again and I was gonna find that real person, it's gonna be forever because I ain't gonna be dating again. I ain't gonna have.
That's what I'm saying.
Years,
like going through another 10-year relationship. Oh my gosh!
But not 10 years. Not even the time wasted. It's also the hardship of it is of leaving that situation.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God!
All
terrible.
that comes with it. There's no way. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even like to think about Sophia being in love with other people. Ever.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself.
Oh God, I can't.
Don't
I love her so much.
Do you do that in your head sometimes, where you just like?
No, I don't. I block
no, I'm
out.
saying
No,
like.
I don't, and I don't want to do it now on the podcast. I don't think about any type of thing. I don't. I'm just one of those people where I just block it out of my mind because I love her so much and like we experienced so much together and like now that we really have a child together and she's my child's mom and it's a whole different love that's sprouted. It's like I can't even fathom the fact that she.
And you guys are in such a good place right now.
Oh my God, it's great. It's amazing. I can't. So with that being said, I can't even fathom her even like going to prom with a guy.
How does that feel, by the way? Real quick before we like go into the last topic for today's episode, like how does that truly feel right now? Where you're at right now in your life, right? You just had a newborn baby, your second kid. Mm-hmm. My little niece Saya. Uncle loves you. Uncle of the year. You're in such a good place with your woman. You're making great money. Everyone's healthy. Like, how does that feel? Because in life, there's always ups and downs.
Always.
Right? But I feel like you have been in such a good place for a good amount of time. And right now, like, I feel like you're at such a high. Like, how does that feel? Like right now, are you cherishing this moment right now?
Man, I drop to my knees and pray about 3 or 4 times a day. And I'm in prayer. I'm in prayer like at least 20% of the day. Even when I drive, I don't even drop in music. I just talk to God when I drive. You ever do that?
100%.
And I feel like that's just like so therapeutic for me. And I feel like the reason why I'm so thankful too is from hardships in the past.
Yeah.
To being where I'm at now is just like crazy. I feel like someone could truly make a movie out of my life.
Yeah.
Like actually a documentary. And I feel like, again, I manifested where I'm at in life, and you can't manifest any of the things you think you're manifesting right now. You can never have without faith and without being a good human being. I truly believe that. If you're not a good human being, you're all those things you think you want, you're not gonna have it. You're not.
So, talking about faith, it's our last topic for today, and this is like one of the things that I've struggled with in my life is getting closer with the man above, right? For those of you who know or may not know, I am a big believer in God, and majority of my tattoos on my body are God related, and even though I believe in God, there are times where I feel like I need to be closer, and there's times where I don't know how to do it. Right? In the last year of my life,
That's powerful.
I went through a lot. There's things that people don't even know that I went through. And I was trying my best to figure out, like, how do I get closer to him? What does that look like for me, right? Because there's so many ways to connect with God, right? It's not just going to church, right? But as you know, going through my divorce, going through my separation, I attempted to go to church every Sunday for a good period of time.
Now, let me just say one
religiously.
thing. Let me say one thing before you get into your story. That was the only time I'm going to interject. Growing up, we've always been a semi-religious family. It's not like we attended church every Sunday, but we all were known to believe in God, and that you should be believing in God, and that God is the way, basically. Yeah. But I will say, I didn't know that something was happening with you, and you were going through it when I saw you actually going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
There's times that, so when I first saw him, he was going with the kids, and I'm like, well, that's really cool. 'Cause one, like, he doesn't really go to church like that, so him going to church and bringing the kids, that's a dope, cool Sunday vibe. But when I saw him going by himself, that's when I knew, he's looking for the man upstairs.
Yeah, 100%. And during that time, because in life, it's all about consistency, like we always talk about, just like the podcast. It's all about being consistent. And obviously, there's times where I've gone to church, and then I take a break, and then I go back to church, and I take a break. And after my separation, I was like, man, I want to be consistent with this thing. Like, how can I just, like, maintain the consistency? Go to church. It's only an hour out of your day. Really connect, really be present, right? Not be on your phone, not be on social media, and really practice the word. Like, really be about it. And so I was doing that. And I want to say I was doing that for damn near half the year. And even now I attempt, I'm not as consistent now. I've kind of fallen off. I need to get back into it. But there's so many other ways that I'm learning to connect with God besides going to church, reading the Bible, going to classes, doing different things. And I'm still trying to figure that out. And I would love for your guys' help, opinions, any advice you can give me on how to connect with him deeper, because he'll always be in my life no matter what. I'm a big believer in the man above. Have so much faith, literally have faith written on my neck. So yeah, what about you, man? When's the last time you've been to church, brother?
I actually went to church, not 3 weeks ago, which was hard because before that we weren't really going to church at all because of the newborn situation and being in the hospital for fucking 3 weeks and all type of stuff. So it was obviously a struggle. But you know me with my faith. My faith is different. And I feel like from what I've been through in the trials and tribulations in my life that I truly was blessed to go through is what allowed me to get to the space that I'm at now. Yeah. And I'm like, I wish that everybody could feel how I feel towards God and my faith and how strong my faith is. I pray that everybody could one day achieve that and feel that in their bones of how it feels to live a life like this, because when you do have faith on your side and you truly, truly believe, and faith to me really is obviously believing in the Lord, but it's also believing that the Lord's always in charge and that everything's always going to be okay. Yeah. And everything's always working in your favor.
100%.
Right? So even when the times seem, not so good, you're still understanding that it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
you're going to get through it.
The true essence of faith. And it's very easy to lose sight of that. But similar to yours, I feel like our faith was pretty much equal up until I got sick. So the people that don't know, we talked about it, I feel like a little bit on the first podcast, I think.
I'm not sure if we brought this up yet, which is crazy.
Well, I had a situation where I had gotten sick, and I had gotten cancer, and I had gotten lymphoma. And the actual cancer is called large B-cell lymphoma, which is basically like enlarged cysts, kind of, or lymph nodes inside of your chest area.
Guys, my brother had stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just, don't just say like it was something small. Like, it was serious.
Stage 4, because clearly there's no stage 5. And the reason why I don't talk about that much, or like people might not even know until right now or whatever, I talk about it very rarely on Snapchat if it comes up, is just because I almost not feel ashamed to talk about it. It's just that the reality is that 99% of the people aren't going to have experiences like I did. They're not going to have the story that I did. And I hate talking about it because it's just not the reality. It's almost like you know what I mean? It's not like I had it easy. It's just that, like, there's people who are diagnosed, that got diagnosed, that I know with the same exact cancer at the same exact time, that are still getting chemo right now.
Right.
And that's what makes me feel bad about even talking about it, because I almost feel like I'm not bragging about it, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's your life, though.
But it is my life. And the reason why I don't talk about it is because that reason, but the times I have shared it with my community and stuff is just because I get reminded at certain times when people, I know how much I can help people.
Yeah.
And people relating to it. And it could not even be about sick. It could just be about the story of the faith and how faith came into play.
Yeah.
So anyways, 2000.
So wait, can we talk about it? You going to talk about it?
You want to talk about it? I can talk about it. So 2019, first off, my daughter's soul was born. She was born December 19th, 2019. 2020, which is literally only 1 month from that, 2 months after she was born, that's when I was diagnosed. So she was literally 2.5 months old when I got diagnosed.
Right.
So you can imagine that's fucking fucked.
Yeah.
It's savage. Like, damn. And when it had happened, when I first had got diagnosed, and if I went into the whole story, the podcast would be fucking 4 hours long. So I'm going to try to give just the most significant parts about it.
Right.
When I first got diagnosed and I first was told that I possibly could have this cancer, I was more like living in a movie. It wasn't like it wasn't really real. So I didn't cry. Yeah. I wasn't really scared. I didn't even have thoughts of really faith about it at the time. I almost was just like, what? Like, what's going on? Then it became real. And when it became real is when I got to my doctor, who like literally saved my life, which is Dr. Piro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you know what? We did talk about it. Because remember we talked about Dr. Piro and we talked about Harry a little bit. We did on the podcast before. Remember that? We talked about Harry. And we met Harry through Kylie. We talked about it a little bit.
Ray,
can you confirm? We talked about it a little bit, right?
No, we didn't, because we scratched a lot of it, because we wanted to save it for another episode.
Okay, guys. Well,
yeah.
Once we finish this, if you guys want a different, full version on the podcast, we'll bring it to you. But I got to my doctor named Dr. Piro, who literally saved my life. And we got to him.
Well, first of all, can you explain your conditions first? Okay. How serious that was for you to even get to this point?
Okay, well, what I was experiencing is that I was extremely lethargic. I was losing crazy weight. My normal walk around weight is like 165, 170. I was 125 at my lowest before my first chemo. I was like a walking skeleton. I was pale. I was like looking sick. And I was, when you're pushing something off, when you're sick and you're just pushing it off, like, I'm straight. I'll be fine. It's just,
I know. I'm the type, I don't want to know nothing.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's straight. But then it started to get worse and worse and worse, where people started to notice that something's really wrong with me.
Yeah.
And I was almost in denial, which I'm a big believer in, that you should never have regrets.
Right.
But the one regret that I do have in life, the only thing I regret ever, is that I didn't get help sooner. And thank God, obviously everything worked out, but I had a daughter to worry about. And the fact that I wasn't going to get checked up is so fucking selfish of me.
Yeah.
And that's the one regret that I have, because literally if I didn't go in a week before that, I would not even be here.
I know. But bro, that's a scary situation, man. Like when you feel in your heart, in your gut, something could be wrong. Like, it's really hard to like go through with figuring that out.
It was a tough situation. I didn't want it to be real. So at first I was at Kaiser, which is a hospital out here. If you guys know Kaiser, I was at Kaiser. They basically were playing with me because one of my symptoms were I was extremely lethargic. My worst symptom is I had fevers all day. Like, I only not had a fever when I took a Tylenol Tylenol. So it was the fevers. It was extremely lethargic. My appetite was getting fucked up. I was like so weak I could barely breathe. I would literally walk up the stairs in our house. I would walk up the stairs and had to sit at the top of the stairs when I got there, because I couldn't continue up like to go to the room. I had to like sit down and be like, breathe for a second and then go. And so finally, I go to Kaiser to get help. They're pushing me away because, again, my main symptom is fevers. And what was just happening at that time? COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It was, remember when they had little, the people in the hospital wearing the hazmat suits?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was like a crazy disease. Like, people were so scared of it.
Yeah,
It was at
it's a
that
movie.
time.
It
It
was
was
like a
the
movie.
worst time to possibly have that symptom.
Yeah.
So they kept pushing me away. No, he probably has COVID. And obviously all of the cancer people or the oncology people, the area is extremely high risk. So you can't possibly risk someone with COVID being around them.
Right.
So I was getting pushed away. But I didn't have that time, though. That's where it was fucked. Finally, through connections, we were able to get to my doctor, which is Dr. Piro.
Hold up, time out. Let's talk about the connections because that's important. Okay, so when I remember it's like it was yesterday, by the way. We're at my house. It's the family, and my dad was over, and Pops was over, spending time with us, and we were in the backyard playing with the kids, and we were waiting to get a phone call to hear about your results, right? Pops was sitting on the ground playing with the kids. He looks at his phone, gets a phone call, jumps up immediately, and walks away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to know. So he walks away, and I can just see him from a distance. He's like shaking his head. He's starting to lose it. He walks over, just bawling, bruh, like tearing. And I don't want to cry on this episode because he makes fun of me. I've been crying a lot
This
on these episodes.
this one is acceptable.
But this moment was so difficult for our family because we knew it was very, very serious. And seeing my pops cry like that was the craziest feeling ever. And when he told us all that you had stage 4 cancer and what you were diagnosed with, I immediately went to my Rolodex in my phone and I called everybody who was somebody that I thought could help you.
Could know something or help, some type of help.
That could help you in any kind of way, bro. Like, some of the people you guys would even know that I knew that I was reaching out to. And I finally got in contact with a good friend. His name is Harry. I got the contact. He's a friend through Kylie, one of her best friends, that he went through the same exact.
Not same exact, but basically.
It wasn't the same exact?
No, he had Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Okay,
which is a form of mine, just different, but similar.
Similar situation as you.
Very,
Similar
like,
cancer.
extremely similar.
Called him up and I was like, hey, bro, I know you're doing much better now. I know you have like the best doctor. Can you please give me his contact? Like, whatever it takes, I'll do it. Just please give me his contact. My brother needs it immediately because he might not make it. And that second I hung up, I immediately got his number and we reached out to that doctor and he seen you like the next day. So shout out to Harry.
Shout out to Harry, man.
Shout out to Kylie.
You have a big shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Harry. You guys have a part in saving my life.
100%. 100%.
It's crazy. I've seen Kylie probably like 4 or 5 times after that, and she probably has no idea.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Like what she really like did.
I know.
Even though it was something so like that, she doesn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyways, so we get to Dr. Piro's office.
Yeah.
So when I get to Dr. Piro's office, I am in the worst condition I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like, I'm barely standing up. I had to sit down almost in a wheelchair type shit because I'm so fucking weak. I can barely stand. Dr. Piro, if you guys don't know, Dr. Piro is so like up there.
He's an OG.
Doctor.
He's an OG.
He has his own, not his own like practice. He has his own hospital. Like, he has his own miniature hospital. Like, that's only his, and doctors are under him. It's crazy, bro.
Legend.
So it took him and his team about 3-4 hours to fully diagnose me and tell me exactly what type of condition I was, exactly what type of cancer I had, everything. Because Kaiser gave me the wrong diagnosis of what cancer I had, and just wrong everything. They fucked me, basically. He told me, he's the one that said I had large B-cell lymphoma. He's the one that told me I had stage 4. The part where you breathe, I don't know if it's a trachea or whatever it is, was closed by 78%.
Was it? I didn't know
That's why
that.
I couldn't breathe, because there was no airway.
Oh my god.
And it was because the lymph nodes that were like getting bigger in my chest, they were pushing against their organs. My heart rate was extremely high. My heart rate was like resting. Like, while I was sleeping, it was like 130, which is extremely dangerous, right? You could die, you could have a heart attack, you could have a stroke, you can just pass out when you're walking around. And it's because the lymph nodes were pushing against my heart, and it was irritating everything. And it was making my heart make my heart think that I had to work harder than I actually need to. So I remember we're standing there. It was all of our family. It was all of us, me, Soul's mom. We're in this room with all these like TVs with the doctors. It was literally like a movie. And that's when he told me everything. He broke it down. Like, this is exactly what he said. He said, from this conversation, first off, he broke down exactly like I said. But then he said, from this conversation, you cannot go home and say bye to your daughter. You have to go straight to the hospital. Because I cannot trust you going home and I don't feel okay with that because something could happen to you. And I can't take that risk. So that's how serious it is. I couldn't even go 30 minutes home.
Yeah.
I didn't have that hour. That's how bad I was. I had to go straight to the ER from his hospital to Cedars-Sinai, right? He's like, we're gonna go straight there so they can monitor your heart until you have your first chemo. Okay. Then this is the part, but he said, but this is the part where it hit me. He was like, but obviously you're fucked right now. This condition is crazy. But in so many words, he said that you're gonna see your daughter grow up. Everything's gonna be okay. Just trust the process. We're gonna take care of you, right? And I'm like, okay. But then he says this, and again he said it in so many words. But this is the part. This is where my faith story really hits. He said, once you go to the ER, they're gonna test you for COVID before anything. When they test you for COVID, if somehow we're to come back positive, in so many words, he said that your body cannot survive that. You're barely breathing right now as I'm looking at you. If your body has to fight COVID, it's just not going to happen for you, right?
Whew.
Right? That's what he said. So I'm like, all right, fuck. The part I was worried about still, even when he was telling me that, is that I couldn't say bye to Solene. And I was like, fuck, bro, if anything were to happen to me, it's like, and I remember when we got out there and we're outside of his office, I threw the craziest tantrum and fit I've ever thrown in my life. I was so fucking upset. And I was punching my fucking, the car. The car was punching, hitting it because my mom, my dad, Soul's mom, like, they weren't allowing me to go home, right? I'm like, please, I just want to fucking see my daughter. Let me just see my daughter. Like, I just want to hug her. Like, goddamn. And they were like, no, we have to, like, listen to what the doctor said. And thank God they did stay on that. You know what I mean? Because I could not go home. But I was just like freaking out. And that was the only time that I cried. The only time I cried in my whole process was that exact moment. Outside of the hospital, about to go to ER and check in and start my whole process. I was just freaking out, flailing, crying. I was like hysterical. I finally calmed down and I got to the hospital. So I get to the ER and I remember I was sitting in the car with Soul's mom and my mom and our mom. And I remember I'm just like kind of soaking up the time, like, fuck, I know when I go in there, I'm about to start this whole fucking journey of my life right now. Like, this is fucked. Like, damn, like, I'm about to step in there and just start chemotherapy or start whatever the fuck I'm doing. On top of that, he just said that I could fucking die. Yeah. So I remember in the parking lot for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then I finally go in. And obviously you have to go in alone. And that's the part that fucking sucks, is that and during this time, nobody could go in with you. It was during COVID. Like he said, I got straight to the ER. Straight to a room they already had for me. He already had all the pull, all the connections. He's going to be there right now. Let him in immediately. I didn't wait through no lines, nothing. Went straight to the room. So I was in the ER room. And like he said, he tested me for COVID, or the nurse tested me for COVID. And at that time, bro, it was like when COVID first started, the COVID tests were literally 45 minutes. So for 45 minutes, you can imagine, look, I'm laying in the bed. I'm not on my phone or nothing, right? I just said bye to Soul's mom. I just said bye to my mom. I've been said bye to him and my dad earlier. I'm in the bed and I'm sitting up like this. I'm just looking. I'm just talking to God. And this is the part where it changed my life forever. And this is the thing I'm so extremely thankful for. Is I was looking up at the roof and I was talking to God. Man, I really said this, and I said, God, if anything happens to me, if this is how my story ends, then I have to believe and know that Soul's going to be okay, that my family's going to be okay, that they'll be able to deal with it, that everything is going to be...
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. I can't again.
That everything is going to be okay. That everything's going to be fine. And in that moment, I really surrendered. And very few people, bro, have ever truly surrendered to God. You can say all the shit that you want, but when you sit there and you really understand and come to terms with dying And when you have a 2.5-month-old kid that you just had, and you have to come to terms with leaving her behind,
Whew, that's deep.
It's. I came to, and I surrendered, and I didn't cry. I didn't talk to nobody. I was just talking to God, and I had a calmness over me, honestly, with that conversation. I'm just like, it's on you. I'm gonna be mad at you. I can't. I have to understand that everything happens for a reason, and this it is what it is. So I fully surrendered in that moment. Again, I'm not on my phone for 45 minutes. I'm not on my phone. And I'm just looking up and talking to myself for 45 minutes. People that thought I was crazy were looking through the glass. And the nurse come back in. So you can imagine me, it's glass doors that are closing it. Like literally like hella private glass doors. She got the suit on. When she come up to the glass, before it even opened, I'm looking at her face. And I'm trying to see like her reaction before she tells me whatever it is.
I don't know how I would have.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm looking at her face the whole way, all the way up to me. I'm like looking at her like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And her face was emotionless. And I'm like,
that's the worst.
And I'm like, fuck. And she literally looks at the paper and she goes, all right, so you're clear. So we're going to move you to the oncology place. And I remember when she said, okay, before it even got out of her mouth, when her lips moved and I knew that it was what I heard, I felt a sensation, bro, of relief that literally came from my head. It was like down to my toes.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I didn't have one bad day.
Yeah.
And the way that I'm set up and the way that the shit works is that I'm like, God doesn't play tricks with people.
Right.
Imagine you're like, okay, you're in a life or death situation. COVID, you dead.
Yeah.
Right? Or you survive.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be like, whew, all right, I'm straight. Cancer, I die. I couldn't fathom that.
Yeah, yeah. No
I knew that one, if it's negative, I'm beating cancer so fucking easy. I'm gonna attack this shit. I'm gonna get this show with. I swear to God, it's gonna be like, God, I got this. I knew that was what was gonna happen because there was no way in my mind he wasn't gonna be like this crazy ultimatum and then be like, oh, you straight, but only for 3 more weeks and then you dead. Like I couldn't fathom that. I just couldn't. I knew what my calling was. I knew it was gonna happen. And from that time, every day it was like, I can't explain it. It was like almost like he was taking me through it. And it was almost like I was watching my life happen for me too, which was also a crazy like feeling. But I remember I had my first chemo. I was in the hospital for I think 10 or 11 days. Had no visitors. Had my first chemo. I didn't even know how the fuck you even got chemo. I didn't know if it was a pill, a drink, a shot. I didn't know what it was. And chemo that I went through my first chemotherapy and how it works. Again, most of you guys watching don't know anything about cancer if you don't have had anybody in it with your family. But basically, you have like a standard regimen of chemo, which is always like 6 sessions, right? And again, there's different like standard regimen of chemos for every single cancer alive, right? Every single cancer, they have something that they give to people that works, most of the time, right? And after every chemo, they have a checkup after the chemo to see how well that chemo affected your body. Because they want to make sure that it's working. It's almost like a race against time. They want to fix you before you get too sick. So after my first chemo, I came home finally, right? That's when I first saw you guys. You guys were waiting for me at the house and everything. And I went to the Dr. Piro's office maybe a week later. I forgot how long after the chemo you get checked up. But I had my checkup, which is via like CAT scan and contrast and shit like that or whatever. And 75% of my cancer was gone after one chemotherapy. And I remember Dr. Piro looked me in my eyes and he said, you don't understand that I've been doing this for I don't know how many years. He said so many years. He's like, there's only so many cases I can think off the top of my head that had anything even close to this, like how well that your body reacted to it. Right. And he's like, and you don't understand when people have a 5% increase. We're like, cool. We're great. We're getting somewhere. Yeah. This is huge. Yeah. 75. He's like, I can literally never look at you again and know that you're going to be perfectly fine. That's what he said, word for word.
Well, so wait, was that before you came home? And you had the support system, or was that after you came home?
No. Well, I did the chemo at the hospital when I saw you guys at the house. And
okay, so you did it while you were at the hospital that first session.
My first chemo, my first of the 6, was it was in the hospital.
Got it.
I came home and was at home maybe for a week, and then I had to go back to do the evaluation to see how it did.
Got it.
And that's when he told me that.
Okay, so for when you came back home and you had your support system, what period was that?
That was from 2 to 6 sessions.
Okay.
So, talking about the support system, this is something that's crucial for me and for our family, is that Austin and Catherine stepped up in such a big way when that happened. And this is something I commend Catherine for so much too, because of course we're all family, but again, for her to like be with you and never have anything to say about it, whatever, because it's not like things were cheap or what you were trying to do was little things. They're big things.
Yeah.
And just like how I thank you for it, I have to thank Catherine for it. And I'll always keep that dear to my heart forever. But what had happened was my dynamic when I got home, again, it's another reason why I don't talk about it. It's hard for me to talk about it openly with people or have a conversation with other patients and stuff, is because, again, my support system when I was home. When I did finally come home, we had a chef. We had Chef Will, which was provided from Austin and Catherine. They basically got him, recruited him, paid for him, told him like what to do. And he already kind of knew what I was on. We were friends, familiar, and he came and helped me out. And that was provided to us, to me and, my family, me, Soul's mom and Soul. That was provided to us. That was our chef. That was one. So we didn't have to cook a meal ever. We didn't have to cook a meal. Soul didn't, everybody ate. It wasn't just me. Our whole family ate. 2 was they got, which also really came in handy, is Austin and Catherine provided basically 24-hour security guard. And
not only was he security, but he also was...
He was ex-military, CPR, all that type of shit. So he came in handy, and he was crucial too, because obviously at that time the story was so viral, and people were like go by our house and take pictures and all type of shit, that he was security 24/7. But also the crucial thing is he ran errands, so we never had to go to the grocery store. He went to the grocery store for us all the time. He ran all the errands. If I needed something random, he would take care of it. So like we didn't have to leave the house, right? Besides those 2 things, because they provided that, we already had our nanny, which was our Aunt Janelle, who took care of Soul Monday through Friday. So again, we didn't have to worry about Soul. And lastly, we had our cleaning lady, Esme, who we've always had, and she was taking care of the house. She cleaned once or twice a week. So everything was taken care of, where basically I just had to focus on getting better.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, our family has never hung out more in our entire lives during that time.
When I tell you, my mom, my dad, me, were over there as if we all lived there. Like, it was a crazy experience, because while he was on the couch, and when I tell you, bro, the fevers that you had were unbelievable. Like, this dude would catch heat waves, and he'd be sitting there with just sweat dripping down his body. Do you remember when you had to like literally change in the middle of your fevers?
No, yeah. And
you would have to get up and change like your whole outfit because you were just drenched.
Yeah, you guys would be bringing rags or
and we would all 3 of us, we bringing ice, rags. He'd be eating popsicles. Like, just to bring his fever down was a mission. It took 3 people to bring his fever down.
Yeah,
and we were sitting there watching movies, playing games as time passed by, and we were, the biggest thing for his support system for me, my mom, and our dad was just keeping our attitude so positive and always laughing and keeping him, in such good spirits. And I felt like we did such a great job of that, and I feel like that was a big help.
It was. I mean, it's crucial. It's crucial too for my relationship, because include with Soul's mom, she didn't have to worry about those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I allowed her to be there more for me, because she didn't have to do any of those other things. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's the last thing you want, is to have any fights. Imagine you're trying to like fighting about your relationship or anything that's going on while you're dealing with that. So it really made it a good place for our relationship too, because all of those things were taken care of too. But yeah, so stage 1, chemo 1, 75% better.
Yeah.
And again, I was already back to like doing what I do and struggling it. And I think I did a great job. You could tell me if I'm wrong. I think I did a great job at not letting any of you feel like any type of way about it.
Yeah.
I feel like because that's especially, bro, the person I thought about the most was Dad.
Yeah. Now you took it on the chin, bro. Like, I don't know if I could have did it. I'll be honest. Like, it would have been very difficult for me in that process, especially knowing that I had 3 kids and everything else. Like, I felt like I would have been more on edge, and I would have been upset. And I just feel like you had such a good attitude, and you just kind of just played it off. Like whatever you were feeling deep down inside, you never showed it. And we obviously knew it was something serious, and we did what we could to help you. But you handled like a champ, bro. You really did, and I commend you for that, brother.
Well, like I said, it was all God, because God put me in that mental space to allow me to get better. So it's not like God was like, cancer be away.
Yeah.
But it was about like, because I mean, I'm a big believer. I know you are too, in how your brain can heal your body.
Yeah.
He put me in a mental space where I didn't have no doubt at all.
Hey.
And that allowed me to be like, hey, body, you better get right. And that's literally what had happened.
Me and my brother, Outside Voices, we're God protected over here. Truly.
Hey, and nobody can tell me nothing. Trust me. Man. So by chemo 2, it was literally like 89% gone.
Wow.
By chemo 3, and I think it's like a 6-week duration between each chemo, I believe, because I started in either, I think, March of 2020, right after Soul was born, and I was chemo free before my birthday, which was in September.
Wow.
Stage 4 to 0. So by stage 3, I had 0. I had 0% any cancer cells in my body, and that doesn't technically means you're cancer free, but it's you're in remission, but you're cancer free. You have no cancer in your body anymore. The only part that sucks that they don't tell you about is that 6 regimen of 6 chemos, it don't matter if you had 0 after your first chemo, you have to finish all 6.
Yeah.
So I had to go through 3 chemotherapies with all the therapy that's around it, with no cancer in my body.
Wow.
And that's the part that was fucking challenging, because I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting hit with this fucking poison.
Yeah.
And chemo is literally the most toxic drug on earth. It strips your body so crazy. It saves your life, but it kills not only bad cells, it kills everything. It's like it wipes you out clean, almost fucking restarts your DNA basically. So that was the tough part, is getting from 3 to 6 with 0 in me. But I remember after that 3rd chemo, I went to your house and I filmed your reaction to me saying that you're cancer free.
Yeah.
In the front yard.
Yeah, that was deep.
I remember I went in and I saw Catherine, and you weren't there, and I was like, oh, where's Austin? And she whatever, and I was like, can you tell him to come out? I have something to tell him. And I feel like she looked at me like she kind of knew what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But then you came out to the car, and then I filmed, and then you started crying.
That was deep. What, you started crying?
No, that's like one of my best moments with you, because it was really like, I could tell. It was funny because you were crying, but it's almost like you wanted to cry harder.
I was trying to let it out. I was holding a lot in.
You know what I mean? And then you're crying, and I think that it was just a good moment for all of us. I remember I had like a whole tour of going, and literally all in like 2 days, I went to mom, dad, you, Soul's mom, everybody, and said I was cancer free. You know what I'm saying? And
so how long was that process for you? Like,
it literally was like 90 days from the whole thing. 6 was not the whole 6 was, I think, 6 months, or something like that. But the first 3, I went from stage 4 to 0 in 90 days.
You're so blessed, brother.
And, bro, I'm beyond blessed, but that's why, again, it's kind of a struggle to talk about it, because I literally have people in my phone who got diagnosed at the same time, who are still going through chemo right now, because their body is not reacting to the chemo, or they're switching and they're trying different things, and it's just not working. And that's the part that's the reality, and that's how people lose their life to cancer, is because their body just isn't reacting well to the medicine.
It 100% changed your life.
Oh my God.
Like, not just in the experience way, but bro, I feel like you're the healthiest you've ever been, and you're the strongest you've ever been. Like, bro, you were scrawny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even before cancer, like you were scrawny. You had no muscle.
Chill.
Now, like pause. Like, you're thick. Like, everything about you.
Whoa.
Like, you got cakes back there. Like,
whoa. What the fuck, gang? What's wrong with you?
Like, you just somehow, the treatment just beefed you up. It just juiced you up. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, for sure. But I think more than anything physical, the biggest thing about my life will forever, the biggest pivoting moment of my life will always be that exact moment when I was in the ER before cancer started, and I had that whole talk with God, because now my faith, like, I was about to die, and I can say, like, I literally was going to die. Not even that. It's like, even if I wasn't in that position, if I didn't see Dr. Pirro when I saw him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be your brother no more.
The timing of everything
that is what
perfect.
it is. So when I realized that I literally could have been here, the next time I have a situation that's wrong, a situation that I feel is wrong to me, a situation that is bad or I'm doubtful, I look up and I feel like God's literally like, hey, bro, like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Are you dead ass gonna question me right now after I saved your life?
Yeah.
That's every time I have any thought, I think I'm like, and I'm always like, yo, like, and I rarely feel like that, but I do have moments when I have like a slip or whatever, but I instantly be like, I feel like literally God's telling me like,
yeah, there's no moments, no negative situations for you should be able to phase you in any kind of way now, moving forward.
No.
Even for me, I've been through a lot of things. Obviously, cancer isn't one of them, but I've been through some tough situations to where anything I go through now, it's like, this is nothing. You know what I mean? And I also think about there's people out there that go through things way worse than both of us.
Yeah.
And they're pushing through. And so if anybody questions our faith in God, better think again. I think
my faith, I can put my faith up with literally anybody. I don't care if you're a priest. I don't care if you're whatever. my faith is just like and that's why it's not like I ever would wish anyone to go through something crazy like that. It's just that I almost can't even be mad or judge someone for not having the faith that I have because they didn't experience what I experienced.
Yeah.
And I almost wish that someone could feel just how I feel about it. I just feel like my faith is just bulletproof. I feel like there literally is no other way around anything besides what had happened.
And I do want to talk about the other side of people having faith, but sometimes they may lose it because they don't feel like God is hearing them, right? Like people go through tough experiences and they're just like, man, why me? Like, I've been patient. Like, God, why are you not answering my prayers? Like, what's going on? Why am I going through this? And people start to lose faith, right? Rather than believing no matter what happens, they're going to get through it. And believing that everything happens for a reason, they end up losing it. And sometimes things can get difficult, right? But you got to stay strong. You got to keep your faith strong. You got to always believe no matter what you're going through, that it's always going to work out. And eventually, whatever that timing is, you'll be fine.
And I always say that, or what I would say to someone who said that to me, because I've had many people, like people to this day always confide in me when it comes to faith and questions like that, because I talk highly about God and stuff like that. But what I would say to someone is that just because you're living in a moment right now that's not what you want, and you're wanting for something that you feel like you're not getting or God's not listening to,
right?
You have to trust the process and believe that what you're asking for might not be what you need.
Exactly.
And everything's going to happen for you exactly when it's supposed to happen for you. And I feel like the conversation about how everything happens for a reason is something that is very crucial.
Yeah.
To understand and to know that everything that we experience, good or bad, happens for a reason. If it's bad, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
Right? If it's good, then it's a blessing. Something happened to you that needed to happen to you for you to get to where you need to be. And for me, in my situation with the cancer situation, I needed that so badly in my life, that process of what happened to me, in order for me to become the man that I needed to be. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So never was it a why me. It was always like okay, well, what does this mean? Yeah. What's next for me? What are you telling me? And what he was telling me is that this was my path, like this. I started to be like this. He was like,
Get back on track.
Get back on track. And that's why I also feel like it's hard. The way my mind works is that when things are temporary, right? Like that situation for me, thank God, the cancer situation was temporary. Some people, it's not temporary.
Yeah.
And I feel like when any situation, when it's temporary, it has to mean something, and it has to be a lesson. It has to be. It has to be. There's no way around it.
Life is amazing, brother. Life is amazing. And not only did you experience that, but shortly after you went through your separation.
Shortly after I had the separation.
So you experienced all that in such a short period of time, and you managed to push through, trust the process, trust God, and look where you are now, my brother. Look where you are now.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Give me a hug, bro. Give me a kiss, brother. Oh, man. Hey, always be my little brother.
Amen. And I feel like, again, that happened. That first hardship was the craziest, because anything that happened after that, God prepared me for it.
Yeah.
Because he said, yo, I just took you out of this. You think this next one? You think this ain't gonna be cake?
Yeah.
Like, come on, I just saved your life. Anything moving forward is cake.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And I always got you.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't even think for a second, because you could have not been here, but I kept you here for a reason. Amen.
Amen.
And that's my mindset.
And we're gonna end with that.
Okay, let's end with that.
For everybody listening, I hope you guys learned something from this podcast. You know, there's gonna be things that we talk about that we've never shared before. And I want you guys to know that we appreciate you guys for listening to us. We appreciate, again, the support you always give us. It means the world to us. And moving forward, I just want to say that please, please, please watch the episodes from beginning to end, because you never know what we're going to talk about, and I don't want you guys to miss anything.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, this last part was pretty deep.
Yeah.
That shit was pretty deep.
It was.
Thank you guys again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you guys again for always tuning in to this is episode 5, right?
Episode 5.
Episode 5. We're going on halfway to 10. Getting to 1 was crazy.
We're there.
Getting
and
to
guys,
1 was crazy.
Christmas around the corner. We just want to say, because we won't see you again until next Sunday. So we just want to say
Merry Christmas.
Feliz
Navidad.
To you and your family, your loved ones. Hope you guys have a great time. Hope you guys get what you want for Christmas.
Yes.
And again,
stay healthy.
Again, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And like me and my little brother always say,
bro, no, don't fucking say that shit, man. We'll see you.
It just flowed.
I'll see you on episode 6 next Sunday on the Outside Voices Pod. See you later.
Love you guys. Merry Christmas.